Today is February the 8th, 2019. My name is Tanya Fincham, and along with me is Alex Bishop. We're with Oklahoma State University, and today we are in Oklahoma City to speak with Bill and Wanda Noble, and this is part of our Oklahoma Married for Life project. So thank you for letting us come today.
You're welcome.
Let's begin with learning a little bit about each one of you, starting with you, Wanda. When and where were you born?
Okay. I was born on October 2nd of 1924 in Tecumseh, Oklahoma.
Okay.
So I'm a real native.
And did you have brothers and sisters?
Yes. One brother and two sisters.
And where are you in the order?
I am the youngest of the two sisters
Okay.
and older than my brother.
And tell us a little bit about your parents.
Well, I had wonderful parents, of course, and my dad was a carpenter slash builder and worked very hard. My mom, of course, was a stay-at-home mom, and she took care of the four of us, kids, children. And they were just good people. Neither one of them very highly educated, but my dad worked. He always found work to do, and we just had a great life.
Had they both been born in Oklahoma as well?
No, neither of them.
Neither. Okay.
My dad was born in Arkansas, and my mom was born in Alabama.
And what brought them to Oklahoma, do you know?
I'm not sure. My grandpa bought some land around to Asher, Oklahoma, and that's where they always lived and did a little farming and fruit trees and things like that.
And then where did you go to elementary school?
In Tecumseh,
And graduated from high school?
in Lawton.
Well, no. That's a little bit of a move.
It was.
And what year?
1942.
Okay. Well, what took them from Tecumseh to Lawton?
Well, my dad's work.
Okay.
We lived in Ada in between that time, Oklahoma, and then we just migrated to Lawton with the World War II movement and from Oklahoma City.
And did you have a favorite subject in high school?
Music.
Oh. And any plans to what you were going to do after high school?
No, because I met him.
Okay. Then that's your cue. Bill, when and where were you born?
I was born in Esterville, Iowa, in the northwestern part of the state. My folks lived in Gredinger, Iowa, which is like 15 or 20 miles close to Esterville, the county seat of. And I was one of 5 kids. My sister was the oldest, 4 boys. I was right in the middle of the whole pack. And my dad was a garage mechanic. Primarily, he started out carrying the United States mail. This was way back prior World War I, guess. Way back then. I was born in 1918, and my mom always talked about me really being patriotic, waving all my white flags on Armistice Day, because I was about 3 months old at that time.
On the clothesline.
This is like when did the war end? 1918.
18,
Question.
Okay. High school.
I went to high school in Gredinger, Iowa.
Okay.
I went 12 years in that little school there. First grade through high school, and went from there scholastically to McKenzie, Tennessee. Had an uncle who was the editor of a newspaper there. He invited me down there to stay with him and go to school in Bethel College, which is a Cumberland Presbyterian school. And so I went down there a couple of years and then got disenchanted with that, I guess. I was a trumpet player in bands from when I was a kid. And I played in some dance bands around western Tennessee there for a while. And finally I got the letter from the United States government says you have been selected. And so I went into the Army in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And that's where I cut my ties, I guess you might say, from Iowa to Oklahoma. And been here ever since. And this gal down there at Fort Sill, she'd come out there at the dances and I would be up there playing in the band for the dances. And we didn't dance together, but we intermixed.
That was going to be my next question. How did you two meet? So you beat me to the punch.
That's about it, yeah. She came out there with her mother in a USO troop. And they came to our dances out there all the time. It was fun for me because I got to play in a dance band, which we wound up having a Glenn Miller caliber band down there. And she can vouch for that. I don't know, I just...
So what was your first impression of Wanda?
Well, that cute little blonde out there dancing. I kept watching her all the time. And
You probably hit all those sour notes.
I got acquainted with her, like I said, during the intermissions. And I don't know, we dated a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, before we finally wound up getting married.
What was your impression of him?
Oh, I thought he was pretty neat, standing up there blowing his trumpet. And they were really a good band.
Well, I
We had
did
fun.
a lot of the vocals too, and we had a quartet that we sang along with the band. So, but then we got going to the same church. She, down in Lawton, Centenarian Methodist Church, Wanda's folks went there, and I started coming in from the post, and wound up in the choir singing together, and went from there.
How about your first date?
Oh gosh,
Do you,
I don't
do you
remember
recall?
any first date at all.
Well, what would you typically do on a date? How about that?
Oh, I don't know, probably go to a movie.
We did that a lot. He did not have a car, and of course back then most people didn't. But he had a lot of friends in the band, and we always had a group of people when we did stuff. Go out to eat, or go to the movie, or go out to the
Mountains.
mountains. Yeah, the Wichita Mountains.
So if your mother went with you, she already knew him from the attending the dances?
She did, and she loved him.
Of course.
She liked him better than she did me, I think, later on.
Did you have a favorite song that you two, that when you hear it, you think, oh, it takes you back to those days?
Oh, almost any of the big band, Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey. all of us been.
So you dated
Yes.
for about 2 years before you got married? Was that before or after service?
Oh, that was during service.
During service, okay.
Yeah, we got
I,
married in 44.
Okay.
And war wasn't over until 45, end of 45.
We were just trying to figure a while ago, he came to Fort Sill in 41, and I graduated from high school in 42, and I know that we dated a lot, quite a bit before I graduated, so,
So 41.
uh-huh.
A couple of years
Yeah.
then, yeah.
And then we married in 44
And where did you get married?
in
Yeah.
Lawton.
In Centenarian Methodist Church.
In the church.
Well, we'd been going all the time. We sang in a choir there together. And
Do you remember what you wore?
Yes, something happened to photographs of the wedding, and somebody took them or whatever. We just can't find them. And our daughter has been very interested in our wedding, and she sent us a little write-up just recently in very small print of his mother lived in Grettinger, Iowa, and she and her friends, from information we gave them, wrote this article about our wedding. And it's,
for the whole town paper in Grettinger.
yeah. Anyway, it said, and I knew this, of course, that I wore a blue dress, and I think of some color hat, maybe a black hat, but, and
No, you didn't wear a black hat.
well, it would have been a, but I didn't have a long gown.
Didn't have a long one. And did you
She
have?
is beautiful.
There you go. Did you have a honeymoon?
We went to
Wichita Falls,
Wichita
Texas.
Falls, Texas on our honeymoon.
After our wedding, and we
A
all,
weekend, wasn't
a big group went out to eat, and then we got on the bus and went to
Went to
Wichita Falls
Wichita
that
Falls.
night. And it was in January, of course, and the weather was terrible. There was ice and snow on the ground,
Right.
and anyway, we made it to Texas. Stayed there the weekend, and then that's all the time he had.
What was the wedding date? What was your wedding date?
January 13, 44.
January 13th, 44.
And your parents liked him. Did your parents like her?
Oh, sure. Sure.
Okay.
They did.
Yeah.
Did they come down for the wedding from Iowa?
No.
Just different times, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time we went to see them, we rode the train. So,
And were you working when you met him?
yeah.
I mean, well, when you after high school, did you
Well-
have a job?
Yes. I worked at Fort Sill, at the post.
Okay, so you were close by even then.
Uh-huh.
You worked out that good
I don't-
really well.
We probably didn't see each other in the daytime, but I was out there.
And did you have to go overseas being in the band?
Well, yes, I did. We went to Rome, Italy.
He fought the Battle of Rome, Italy.
We got shipped over there. This was right, war was just phasing out, and of course, all the GIs over in Europe, they were piling up in the port of embarkations everywhere to come home because the war was getting close to being over there. It was over there, but Japan was giving up too, so they were all heading home, and they all were flocking into Rome. So they transferred me out of the training center band down at Fort Sill into a 223rd AGF band, and I went to Rome. And we started playing dances over there, so the GIs could have their rec clubs operable, and a lot of Italian gals come in to dance with them. They needed music, so we played for them, and I spent about 8 or 9 months over there, wasn't it? Something like that.
He was in the, I'm doing a lot of talking, but they were in the Rome Rest Center that Mussolini had built for the, the World's Fair, wasn't it?
1936 Olympics.
Yeah.
He had built this whole big
Of course.
conclave of
Oh,
marble buildings and,
very plush.
know.
That's why I said he fought the Battle of Rome.
that's where I was stationed. That's where our band was stationed, in one of these marble buildings. I had a cot and I don't know what you call it, like a
A wardrobe.
wardrobe thing. And spent all the time over there and just playing that horn.
Wanda, do you remember the day he left to do this?
I don't remember the specific date.
Did you have children at that time?
No.
Okay, so you didn't have to navigate that sort of
That
thing
was
either.
that had to be in 44, because we had just
45,
we hadn't been married very
45.
long
It was in 45.
when you went to Italy.
Yeah.
Well, we spent part of a year in Brownwood, Texas, at Camp Bowie there.
Yeah.
Before he went to Italy.
So you were in for 4 years,
Yeah, almost 5.
almost 5. How did you ship, or I'm assuming you shipped from where in the United States to Rome?
Oh, Norfolk, I think.
Out
Norfolk, Virginia.
by boat?
Yeah.
By boat. And then when you returned, where were you all?
We were in a big converted cruise ship, I think, of some kind. Passenger ship.
Okay, a little bit better accommodation
Yeah.
than,
I don't remember that for sure.
Wanda, were you still in Brownsville at that point, or had you moved somewhere
No,
else?
when he left, I came back to Oklahoma City and stayed with my mom and dad till he got home.
Okay. And then, so at that point, what did you do? Once you both were in the same spot again.
Well, I went to school. Finished. I had those 2 years.
From Tennessee, or from,
Well, wait a minute now. My timing is getting wrong here.
Well, no, that's about the first thing you did was he went to OU and finished
using the
his
GI
degree.
Bill
Yeah.
and finished your,
Yeah.
so from the University of Oklahoma, right? That school down south,
Oh, you almost sooner.
Boomer Sooner. And what was your major?
Accounting.
Accounting. And you graduated in
48.
48, okay. And then you stayed in Oklahoma City for the most part?
Yeah, I just started working with 2 or 3 little oil companies, local companies, and then I wound up getting a job with Ohio in their accounting tax department, and wound up, of course, with BP, because when BP bought up Ohio, I went with them and retired from BP.
So Ohio was Standard Oil of
Mhm.
Ohio.
But you could do that from Oklahoma City. You didn't have to travel when they
No.
or any merge or whatever.
No.
Go to their headquarters or
It
whatever.
was all here, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And Wanda, did you work too? And tell us a little bit about what you did.
Well, I got a job with some little company, and then I went to work for the W.R. Johnston Real Estate Company, which was a big company, and worked for them, and they were bought eventually by the T.J. Bettis Company in Houston. And then I quit work just because I was ready to quit work. Until one of the Johnston men came and asked me if I would want to go to work for him. And he developed Quail Creek Development out here.
Okay.
And I worked for him for 18 years, Jack Johnston. Then I quit.
Well, did you have children in this time? or-
Uh-huh. We have Connie, our daughter, who was born in 55, and then we have a son, Jeff, who was born in 62. And
So what was it like to become a parent?
well, it was. I liked it because, for one thing, I stayed home for a while and didn't work, and that was nice. And I've always thought that the children, you know, are just kind of they just kind of keep you together, kind of hold you together. And people who don't have children sometimes don't quite make it in the marriages, but it was great having.
We should say that they were both adopted, honey. Both adopted children.
No.
Still yours.
Still ours.
Yeah.
They
I,
were
I
in-
don't
They were
tell
both
that
infants.
really because I just don't
They
even
were
feel
both
like
infants, something like that.
So kind of your own. When you did that. Mhm.
She was 10 days old when we got
Wow.
Connie, and Jeff was 28 days old.
Oh wow! So you really got them when they were babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 6 to 7 years apart gave you time to catch up and
It did, really.
get ready for the next one.
Now, who you know, with married couples, one has to discipline. Who is a disciplinarian of the family?
I'd say I was probably.
I think, as far as the children, yeah.
I mean, he stood his ground too, and we didn't have to do a lot of disciplining. They were good kids.
No, one of the things that couples struggle with is when they tell their kids they've been adopted. Did you ever tell them, or when they got older? Or?
We've told, we've never kept it a secret.
Mhm.
And our daughter was 7 when we, our brother-in-law in Lawton was an attorney, married to my sister. And he was the one who was able to get Connie available for us. And then he passed away at a young age, and my sister went to work in the courthouse down in Lawton, and she was aware of the time when Jeff became available. He had been deserted by his parents, I guess, mother, whatever. And my sister worked in the welfare department down there, and she said, "We've got this little boy. If you want to have him, you can come and get him." And so we did.
Hey.
We picked Connie up. I think she was visiting with some relatives, and we told her to get ready. We were going to pick her up. So she was, well aware that Jeff was adopted. And she's all, and he doesn't even want copies of his papers or anything. He said, "I don't want them." So he's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. That's neat.
They both got lucky, sounds like.
Well, we
With
were
you
sure
two.
lucky.
And the way, yeah, both ways. It works both ways. Yes.
Now, did you teach him to play an instrument?
No,
No.
neither one of them. Connie plays little piano, didn't she? No, they didn't turn out musically inclined like we both. She's an accomplished pianist.
Well, I
And
wouldn't say
she
that,
played
but-
for all the schools, courses and whatever. She was up there playing the piano. And
I did.
Played a mean boogie woogie. I tell you.
I did play boogie woogie.
She still does every once in a while. She go over there and set that thing up. And
I have to be in the mood. That's enough.
Did you ever play together at like concerts or anywhere or
I think we
community
ever
events?
did.
No, singing choirs, you know. That's we joined. I mean, we're in the choir whatever church we're in, and we wound up mostly in Village Methodist Church, and singing choirs all the time out there.
He bought a new trumpet after he graduated from school and OU, and was going to play dance bands at night, you know, with some local bands. That didn't last very long, so he ended up selling his trumpet, and that was the end of that.
And you had piano lessons along the way, evidently.
I had a few.
Oh, you play by
Her
ear.
mother played, and she started her, I guess.
Yeah, she did. My mom started me playing piano.
And how did you get started with the trumpet?
My dad was a brass man. He played all kinds of trombone and baritone and trumpet and cornet, and he played all that stuff when he was growing up. And he bought me a trumpet, or he had a cornet, so that's what I started out playing in high school with his horn. And I played it for a long, long time. I finally sold it to a son of one of the guys I worked with, and his son has played it all over the countryside down in they live in Newcastle.
Wow.
And that horn is still being heard, I guess.
It's got some good vibes there.
Yeah.
So they say math and music go together. So
Yeah,
in your
sure.
case, they did.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's cool. So if you were busy playing music, could you dance? Did you have a good dance?
He was a good dancer.
I could dance all right, but I never did because I was always playing.
Always playing.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I know about that time that song came out. I'll Be Home for Christmas. Did you have to play that some when you were overseas?
Yeah, we played that.
Played that.
I played all of them. But the only tune I remember most particularly of singing was Dream. Dream when you're feeling blue. Dream. Do-do-do-do. I used to sing that all the time.
You can still carry a tune.
yeah.
I don't know. We did so many of them.
That's enough.
Well, Dave, you too, have you ever, as married couples, some married couples fight and they argue. Did you ever fight? Did you ever argue? And if you did, how did you resolve your problems?
We've argued, but we never fought.
Just kind of
Yep.
agree to disagree.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess that's
We
what
waited
you'd say.
a day or two and it cleared up, whatever it might have been. But
If you just shut up, you don't argue anymore.
I was going to
So
say
it
he
was, yeah.
usually gave in.
Just be quiet, Then it'll all go away after a while. You won't even remember it.
Mm-hmm. Sure, sure. Do you have any regrets about being married for so long, or any
Oh,
regrets?
gosh, no.
No, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's really kind of strange. I think what happened? How did we reach this point? You know, really, we've always been active, and so I think we just kind
Just
of
been
worked
busy, I
into
guess.
it.
Do you have a favorite place you went together, or something that you did together that you kind of cherish?
Oh, we had a place down at the lake.
Mhm.
We bought a cabin, mobile, and moved down to a lot down there at Lake Eufaula. And we went for years down there with it when the kids were little, and had a big boat, and spent our weekends down there on the lake. She had to work. She did all the cooking, dishwashing and cleaning.
Well, he had to mow, so
But it was fun, and we really enjoyed it. That lake life was really good.
So if you had a boat, who was the captain?
We had a webcraft. It was a pretty good sized 20-foot boat.
Oh wow.
I finally learned how to back it into the lake. Finally, that's a hard job, but he always did the piloting.
The water ski or fish?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Both?
We didn't fish that much, but we did a lot of water skiing. And just cruising,
And a lot of boating.
just boating. Drink a little beer on the way, occasionally.
We visited. I mean, we traveled through the U.S. quite a bit. I mean, we had some trips overseas, but we just did a lot of. We enjoyed driving, and we did
Road
a lot
trips.
of road trips and.
What's
All
your,
over the country.
what's your favorite place the two of you have been?
Oh my gosh. I've got family all over the West Coast and Northwest. So that's what we did a whole lot of our traveling. Hadn't been just, not, we never did travel back east much.
Well, we took one trip back there and took in about 5 of the states that touch each other
Yeah.
there, you know. We flew up there and rented a car and drove.
Egg, all over the egg.
Yeah, went up to Maine and that was fun. Different.
Been in most every state?
Well, there were like 5 of them up there. I can't. New York.
Let's see, have we been in most all states?
Oh, I'm sorry. Pretty much, I think so.
Is that what you meant?
Yep.
Yeah.
Say most.
Most of them. We haven't spent a whole lot of time in Georgia and the Carolinas, and I don't know why we haven't done that because those are beautiful states. I've heard.
Well, was Bill good at remembering anniversaries?
Uh-huh. Pretty good. Oh, he was. Of course, our anniversary comes pretty close after Christmas, and it sometimes just has to take a back seat because we had all of our fun and all of our visitors and all at Christmas time.
You think Christmas and anniversary, sometimes I think of gifts. Was there a favorite gift that you gave each other? Or a particular gift you just didn't like?
Oh, not really.
I don't know, just good lad, I can't even think of gifts I've given you.
Well, you know, things like the crystal
Oh,
wine glasses, and a set of those when Waterford became so popular, and that was kind of neat to get that set, and just a lot of stuff.
What would you typically do on your anniversary?
Well, when you want to tell,
you,
we usually went someplace with friends I mean, they usually took us out or something, and we just
Well, I
went
tell
to
you,
dinner or whatever.
Forgot to ask him how he popped the question. didn't we? Well, we forgot to ask you, how did you pop the question when you decided you wanted to marry Wanda?
Oh,
here?
good heavens, I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't remember either.
We were talking about that after you called. You mentioned that as one of the questions you might ask or something.
It had to be, I
I-
think, after I graduated from high school. Because I was 19 when we got married.
Or maybe he did. Maybe you just assumed it was going to happen and picked a date.
Well, could be.
When are we going to do
I
this?
don't know how we
It
had to
was just
choose that date.
inevitable, that's all.
Yeah.
Gosh, we went with each other for such a long time. I don't know if that's a long time or not, but 2 to 3 years before we got married, so
It's a long time.
Yeah.
it was quite a long while.
It is.
As long as it was.
Did you use the traditional wedding vows? Like until
Mhm.
death do you part and all
In the
that?
church with all the treatments.
Yeah, we had the minister and his wife
Reverend Forrest A.
was the
Fields.
organist at that time at the church.
You remember the minister?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Well, with music in your background, did you have some kind of music that day?
I'm sure we did,
Did you?
but I can't tell you what.
Hey.
Maybe just the organ, I don't know.
But you didn't elope. It was planned and people were there and all of that. So
Well, all these years, what does it mean? What does it mean to be in love? What does love mean? How do you define love?
Well, you want to go first? Hadn't really thought about it, you know. It's not something that I dwell on all the time. Never has been really. I just assume that we're going to keep doing what we've always done, you know, and just time just goes on. Of course, you feel you have a big protection feeling of anything that would go wrong with him, and I do, and I don't know really how to say it.
Well, I don't know. You can't say what it is. I don't think it's a feeling.
Pretty much.
It's a feeling of content and satisfaction and peace.
And you're happy with what's going on and don't want to change it, and so that kind of thing.
Well, before you got married, did you get any advice from your mother or from your parents? Did they give you any
I'm sure
particular advice?
your mom probably gave you a bunch of advice.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well,
I'd had a little advice over the years already, so.
Were you the first of the girls to get married in your family?
No,
So-
I was the third one.
So they were used to that part already.
Uh-huh.
I guess what's the best piece of advice either of you received? You said you had some advice over the years. What was something that was a good piece of advice that you took?
Well, just to be a decent person and live a good life and all the basic things from the 10 Commandments, and we didn't ever think about a divorce, you know. Never, just a lot of people. Well, a few people did back then. They weren't as common as they are now. But
And how long were your parents married?
I think just under 50 years.
So,
My dad got sick and died, and
Long time.
don't think they'd had their 50th yet.
Okay.
Did you give your son or daughter any piece? Did they both get married? Your son and your daughter?
Our daughter did. Our son hasn't been married.
Did you give your daughter any advice before she got married? Did you pass
Well,
on any wisdom?
Yeah, you know, we had little girl type talks and things like that, and she didn't want to listen too much.
Funny how that is, isn't it?
What about the father-daughter talk? Did you get to have the father-daughter talk?
Don't remember that.
Then that means, did you ask permission to marry Wanda?
I don't know what I asked.
Probably did. He
I
probably
know
did.
that was a
My
tradition
dad.
back
I made
then.
it so.
Did you have as good a relationship with her father as her mother, or
Oh, yeah.
no?
Her dad was a German. Are they German?
Irish descent.
I knew it was. Anyway, he was a home builder and a carpenter. And I didn't get it. I wasn't around him all that much. He was working hard all the time. And one of his moms became a good buddy because she was always around when I came in there. Always had some good pie or something handy.
Something good to eat.
Well, they say a way to a man's heart is stomach.
Oh, that's right. That's
Right.
what they say. I believe it.
And you knew how to cook at that point? When you got married?
Not too much.
too much.
After we got married, I learned that Bill had a favorite thing he liked to cook, if I can think what it was. The fish, what kind of, a certain kind of
Codfish.
creamed
codfish.
codfish was his favorite, one of his favorite things that he
Creamed
liked to cook.
codfish.
Creamed codfish.
Where did you learn to cook that?
Oh, my mother was Scandinavian.
Ah, that's where the genes come.
It was good. I think we served it over potatoes or something. I was glad when he cooked.
Scandinavian blood.
Mm-hmm. Iowa.
Iowa, yeah.
Creamed codfish.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes and creamed codfish. It's a meal you live with forever.
Well, you won't. You wouldn't forget it.
It's good.
We kind of did, however, as the years
Yeah,
went
we
by.
did.
You might have to recreate it.
I know it.
Used to buy the codfish in
Hadn't
a
thought of it in a long time.
wooden box there. Get about a pound in a wooden box. So I had that long, that wide. And it was all salted down and dry.
I don't have any idea where it came
You had
from.
to soak it for an hour and a half. So to cook up, get tender.
I think that's why we stopped eating it. It was too much
Anyway.
trouble.
That came from my folks, because my mother cooked it when it was a meal she could fix for us 7 when we were all gathered around.
Make it stretch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you ever cook it for any of your military friends?
No,
When you're
I
in the
don't
Army?
think so. I never did cook it very often. I wished for it lots of times.
Well, Wanda, I guess you had home ec there in high school. Like, was that?
No, I didn't ever take home ec because I was in the music. I was always in the music
Okay,
program.
that was
and
your
I couldn't
elective.
do both.
Yeah.
Elective.
So, did you learn to sew?
Well, kind of. I did make some things for Connie when she was little.
Okay.
Some dresses. Not many, but it was fun to do that.
And you worked while they were in once they got in school, you worked, or didn't have to do daycare for or babysitter during that time?
Well, our babysitters worked out, and I quit work when they were small.
Okay,
And
yeah.
when they got in school, I started back at a
Yeah.
job. We had a good friend who happened to be in charge of personnel at the Liberty Bank. It was one of the big banks in Oklahoma City back then. And I told him that I needed some part-time work, and he really gave me some part-time work because he needed part-time helpers, you know, in the bank. So we had a nice thing going on there for a while.
Well, with your gift at the piano, did you do piano lessons, teach piano lessons?
No.
No. Just enjoyed it for yourself?
Uh-huh.
And church has been a very important part of both your lives?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Quite large. We've been really unhappy the last year or so because we haven't been able to go with. She's been down quite a bit of the year, and I have too. So we just haven't gone. And I've gotten, well, she got so bad in her, with her knee and hip or whatever, you couldn't drive.
Well, it's my back,
Well, you're back.
but that's all right. We don't.
And I can't drive because I'm too old. And they says the doctor says you can't drive. And so we've been without transportation. And it gets a little tricky. Calling friends and neighbors and whatever to bring you to the store and to whatever.
Yeah, they've really been nice about doing that. In fact, the neighbor 2 doors up takes me to the beauty shop on Friday afternoons, so I can get gorgeous again.
So you keep him interested, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, goodness.
Can you surprise each other these days? Or do you just know what each one's thinking? Or can you, is there any surprises?
Probably not.
No surprises anymore, I guess.
Can finish each other's thoughts?
Well, I think we probably can do that, but
If you had to give a person, a 20-year-old or someone that's thinking about getting married for the first time, a little piece of advice or wisdom, what would you tell them?
well, and you know, people ask us that every now and then too, that what have we done to keep us together this long? I think just make a point to get along with each other and keep busy. Start your family and have the kids to take your time up, keep you busy. Just the good life.
Well, with both of you working, when it was dinner time, was it your responsibility to come home from work and get something on the table for the most part?
It was,
The most part?
but he,
Yeah, I never did cook much.
well, you did a lot of outdoor cooking. You
Oh,
always
yeah.
cooked at the lake.
Yeah, I did a lot of But then how many brains you have to throw a steak down or a hamburger or something, you know, on a grill. There's that much cooking.
You have to be willing.
Have
Yeah,
to
and
be
not
willing,
burn
huh?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your main chore around the house, or chores?
Oh, good land, anything. I've done it all, I guess.
Sometimes couples say there's something the wife always says there's something they wanted to be fixed, but it always took an arm and a leg to get. Is there anything that you
Oh,
had on your?
That
He was
happens.
very good about
That
that.
happens too.
Because he liked he liked to do stuff like that.
Mhm.
And he can't do it now, so that makes him unhappy to have to call somebody else.
Yeah, I never thought I'd have to ask somebody to change a light bulb for me, but I have recently.
It's kind of hard to be up on a ladder.
Yeah.
I can't get up on a ladder or probably chair or stool or anything.
Mm-mm.
Just can't do it.
You talked a little bit about secret. What would you say your secret to? What's the secret to a long marriage? What's your secret?
Well, for one thing, a lot of luck. You know, we haven't had poor health. We've been extremely, everybody comments on the fact that we've been very healthy, and we have. I had some problems with my back in 2018, which really slowed me down, and he's had a few problems but no heart problem or no cancer, or we've just been lucky health-wise. And when you feel good, you can just do a lot of things. Keep going.
I've got a heart problem. Didn't realize it was so bad.
Well, that's true.
I could fall over dead any time.
Well, let's not do that today.
No,
No, please.
I won't.
Okay. Got 10 more years at least. Make it to 110.
104. I'm
He's
shooting for that.
shooting for 104.
Why 104?
Oh,
He just
for
dreamed it up.
years, people said, talked about how, what do I owe my longevity to and all this, and well, how long are you gonna live? I don't know. 120? No, I said it's just 104. That's all. So anyway,
So that's how I got started.
so my doctor, last time I was in there, he says, we gotta keep you living to at least 104. I've got a pulse in my heartbeat. Pause, I should say, not
Pause.
pulse. I have a pulse, but the pulse has a pause. And if it would pause too long, I'd be gone.
Well, have others in your family lived to be 100? Like your brothers or sisters?
No.
Anyone in your...
Our brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
Did.
Yeah. He's married my sister. He lived to be over 100.
Well, it's the cream of cod, huh?
Yeah,
It's being married to Wanda that has helped, right?
Oh,
absolutely.
I like to think
I don't
that.
know. I don't know to do anything than anybody else, I guess, that lives a moderate life and doesn't do anything to extreme. I just kind of float on a lot of things. I don't worry about a lot of stuff.
Feudal.
I'm
Okay,
just
it's
kind
kinda
of easygoing, and when I have good help, feeds me and takes care of me, well, what more could you want?
Well, when history is written, what would you like it to say about you as a married couple?
Like that old saying, which when they says, do you take me, he says, I do, we did. That's about it. Our marriage vows have been with us all our lives. And no need to change.
the sad thing really with us, so many of our good friends
We
have
lost
died, you
everybody.
know,
All of our friends have died.
just
This table here
within the
used
last
to be
10
rollicking
years.
every weekend with bridge players.
Oh.
I mean, we were in 2 or 3 different clubs.
Hmm.
There was not a single couple in all those clubs alive. We can't play with anybody anymore. Nobody to play with. Oh well.
You have to teach the neighbors, the younger generation. They don't know how to play bridge.
They don't.
They don't.
Well, I don't have a clue.
I don't have a clue either.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I've seen it played. I just can't pick it up.
Well, it's a good game, and but you do need to play if you're gonna play. You need to play. You know, just practice and figure out how you want to play it, and this and that. So
And it's usually a couple. I mean, it's usually a pairs that play.
Well, there's girly clubs and
Clubs.
then there's mixed couples
oh,
play. We were always in a couple of mixed bridge clubs.
Were you pretty tough to beat?
We won our share, no? Sure did.
he shocked everybody by making big bids and making them, and so yeah, we had a lot of fun. But my girl bridge, one of my clubs had 3 tables of 4 people, 12 people. And first thing we knew, one whole table was gone. The women couldn't play they died or they couldn't play. And we're down right now to 4 of us. And of course I haven't played in over a year, so I've kind of messed that up. But it's kind of depressing when you think about it.
And you just have to take up gin rummy. Gin.
Rummy, yeah.
Sounds like you're gonna have to play each other.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right.
We used to play, but we haven't played jam for a long
We
time.
could play double saw or something.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, how early do you get up and moving in the mornings?
Hmm.
Huh?
Skid wars all the time.
Oh.
What morning?
I get up around 8,
She gets up
and
very regularly at 8 o'clock.
and he gets up whenever he
Whenever
wakes
I-
up. 'Cause
Decides. I don't sleep very well these nights for some reason or other. I just keep thinking about stuff and it keeps me awake. And it makes me mad. And so I wind up sleeping late. And that isn't good. Because I miss half the day if you're not up and at 'em and doing something. But so what? What's to do? I don't really care that much anymore, except that I want to be social and keep my wife happy.
we don't play. We don't enjoy morning or hardly any of the day TV. We just hadn't gotten started.
Don't
in
turn
that.
it on.
Except for the PGA golf tours, I like those.
Yeah, your golf is on.
Have to keep up with Ricky Fowler, don't we?
Absolutely.
He did good
Sure
this past
did,
weekend.
He finally, we were really pulling for him
Yeah,
because
Sunday was
he's
a
been
good
so
day.
close to winning, and
If he just would
he needed
not
to
wear
win.
that orange shirt.
Yeah, I was beginning to think that was the reason he wasn't winning on Sundays. It's because of that orange shirt.
Maybe.
But he did win. He had oranges on this past Sunday.
Yeah.
It's a good. I watched that too.
Yes. That's great.
Did you play golf or you just like watching it?
Oh, I
He
played a little
played.
bit, not enough to really get with it.
Well, for exercise, what would you
I used to play golf
play golf?
with, for a while there, we get some of the guys from Ohio. We had a golf tournament every couple of weeks or something like that, just a company deal, you know. And that was fun. I used to play tennis a long time ago. Played some tennis in that little school over in Tennessee. Went around the country over there playing matches with that school.
Well, why?
Right now, about every once in a while I go in there and ride that bike. If I think of it. I feel like it.
Well, while you were in the military, did you pick up smoking?
Yes, it is.
You did?
I did, and regretfully, I smoked for quite a long while after I got out of the army. But
One day he
When
decided
was
to
it?
quit, and he did.
back
Right there.
in the 80s, about 1980, something like that, I just decided, I don't know why I was doing that, spending all my time messing with that, and I just quit. And just
Cold turkey.
cold turkey.
He did.
Didn't miss them a bit.
Hmm.
That's why I'm so strange.
One reason, probably.
Kind of guy I is that quits smoking and don't miss them. I don't know why.
But it was just something to do when you were in the military. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody was doing
Yeah,
it, weren't
everybody
they?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never did.
What did you think about it?
Well, I didn't, he was always very neat, you know, and didn't leave stuff all over the house, and if he messed up an ashtray, he'd empty it and that kind of thing. And I was not that concerned about it being a health problem at that time. We knew it was, but you know, it's emphasized so much now that your attention's called to it all the time. But and our son still smokes, but I think he's cutting back on that, we hope. But that was one thing my mother always told the three of us girls, that she said, if you're going to smoke, come home and do it in front of me. And that took the fun out of it, I guess, because none of us smoked.
That's a good strategy on her part.
It worked. It worked. She didn't want us sneaking around.
Well, we've covered a lot. Is there anything else you want to ask? Anything else you want to add? Anything you want to say to each other on the record, for the record?
Have we been photographed this whole time?
Yes.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
It's been great. I mean, it's been great.
Where in Iowa were you from?
Oh, I lived in Ames for about 4 years.
Were you went to school there?
Mm-hmm.
And that you never did live there?
I lived in Ames. Well, during that time I did, yeah.
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 Me, you weren't born and raised there.
No. Too cold.
Foreigner came to Iowa to get educated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he came to Oklahoma to get
Back
educated
in Oklahoma.
He sure did.
by way of
That's the way it
Tennessee.
works.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
way the old ball bounces.
Well, we've covered all of my questions. So thank you very much for letting us talk with you today. You two are terrific.
It's
been
You're
fun.
welcome. Absolutely great.
You're welcome.
We learned a lot about ourselves.
We knew it, we just forgot it.